If you've ever driven on a highway in Japan, you definitely know that feeling. That little jolt of surprise when you see the gas prices at a service area. It just feels wrong, right? Well, today, we're going to find out exactly why that is.
Whoa, that's a bit pricey. Yeah, that's the one. It's a thought that runs through pretty much every driver's head. You pull in for a quick break, you glance over at the pump, and boom, there's that feeling that you're kind of getting ripped off.
I bet you're nodding your head right now, aren't you? It's like a universal experience for drivers here in Japan. But here's the question. Is it just a feeling, or is there a real price difference?
Well, let me tell you, your gut feeling is spot on. That price hike is absolutely real. And it's caused by this really unique mix of business costs, tricky logistics, and a huge policy decision from way back when. So let's dive in and break it all down.
Okay, first things first. Let's just get a handle on how big this price shock really is. And I'm telling you, we are not talking about just a few yen here and there.
So let's look at the actual numbers. If you're in Tokyo, for example, you might pay somewhere around 170 yen for a liter of gas on a regular city street. But the second you get on that highway, that same liter can shoot up to 195 yen. That's a 25 yen difference. It adds up incredibly fast, especially on a long road trip.
And you know what? In some cases, it gets even more wild. One investigation actually found a jaw-dropping 38 yen per liter difference between a gas station on the Tomei Expressway and another one that was literally just off the next exit. I mean, that is a massive, massive gap. Okay, so this just begs the question. Why? It can't just be random, right? There have to be some solid reasons behind these crazy high prices. Let's get into it.
So when you're paying that premium, what are you actually paying for? Well, it turns out you're paying for a whole bunch of extra costs that your average neighborhood gas station just doesn't have to deal with.
It really all boils down to four main things. First, you've got higher transport costs. I mean, the giant tanker trucks delivering the fuel, they have to pay the same highway tolls you do to get there. Second, these places are often open 24/7, which means way higher labor costs. Third, the rent. They pay super high tenant fees to the highway companies. And finally, and this is a big one, their ways of making money are really, really limited.
Let's just think about that last point for a second. Your local gas station can make extra cash from things like car washes, or oil changes, or vehicle inspections. But on the highway, who's stopping to get their car washed? Pretty much nobody. So almost all of their money has to come from selling fuel. And since you're kind of a captive audience with nowhere else to go, well, the price of gas goes up.
But look, all those operational costs, they're only part of the story. There's a much bigger, more systemic reason this is happening. And it all comes down to a simple lack of competition.
In fact, you can trace the crazy high prices we see today all the way back to a single policy change that completely flipped the script for how these highway gas stations operate.
So everything changed back in 2008. Before then, there was actually a safety net in place. The highway companies would set a maximum price, a price cap, so that the stations couldn't just charge whatever they wanted. But in May of 2008, that whole system was abolished. The idea was to let the market decide. So what was the result? Well, with usually just one gas station per service area, there's basically zero competition, and prices have been sky high ever since.
So now we know why gas is so expensive. The system is what it is. But that doesn't mean you're totally powerless here. So let's go over a few smart ways you can actually save some money on the road.
And here's the good news. Now that you have this knowledge, you can absolutely outsmart the system. It really just takes a little bit of planning ahead.
Okay, so here are the 3 golden rules. The most obvious one, of course, is fill up your tank before you even get on the highway. Simple. Second, use an app on your phone to check prices and find the cheapest station near the interchange where you're getting on or off. And third, and this is a pro tip a lot of people don't know about, take advantage of special programs that let you pop off and on the highway.
One of these is a fantastic idea called Kashikoi Ryokin, or Smart Fare. Basically, the highway companies know there are these long stretches with no service areas. So this system lets you get off at a specific exit, use a place like a cheaper gas station on a regular road, and then get right back on the highway without resetting your toll. It's genius.
And hey, this isn't just some theory. There are actual pilot programs running right now that you can use. So let's look at a really specific one from Nexco East Japan.
So here we go. This is a flyer for one of these real-world experiments. It's designed to solve the problem of these gas station deserts you find on some highways. It lets drivers with an ETC card pop off the highway, fill up at a much cheaper station, and then get back on without any kind of toll penalty.
And the process is actually surprisingly simple. For this particular trial, you'd exit at the Shin-Nuiksu interchange, go fill up at a specific gas station they tell you about. Then, and this is the most important part, you use a special intercom at the toll office to get your fare adjusted. As long as you get back on the highway within 1 hour, your toll is calculated as if you never even left. It's a fantastic little trick to save some serious cash.
So, there you have it. The next time you see those high prices, you'll know it's not just one thing. It's this whole cocktail of high operating costs, a really tough business model, and that crucial policy change from 2008. But here's the thing. Once you understand how the system works, you have the power. You can start making smarter choices.
And really, that's the big takeaway. It kind of leaves you with a question to mull over. Knowing what you know now about the costs, the lack of competition, and these clever workarounds, are you going to plan your next road trip just a little bit differently? Something to think about.